So good to see you. I see so many more people have they're on camera. That's wonderful. I love seeing your beautiful faces. And even if I don't see you, I feel you. I feel your energy. Welcome, welcome to our beautiful Sunday prayer circle. It is a joy and honor to be here with you. Tell me, okay, where are you zooming in from? Where are you coming live in from? I see some of our OG prayer circle people. So I see Long Island, Wisconsin, Riverside. I know somebody from Encinitas, Noe, Montana. Nigel sent me an email and it's a little too late for him tonight. He's our friend in England. So we have people from all around the globe that are joining us to stand in prayer. West Hollywood. Every time I see the word Hollywood, Florida, every time I see Hollywood, I think of Hollywood swinging, Cool and the Gang. Anybody remember that song? Yeah, John remembers that. Arizona, California, beautiful. Well, come on in and pull up your chair, sit down. Welcome, welcome. So for those that have not been with me, I'm Reverend Wendy Silvers, and it is my joy and honor to be with you. This is our All Faiths Prayer Circle. I have the supreme honor of being the faith-based engagement team lead on the Kennedy campaign, and one of the initiatives that we created, that I created, was this prayer circle. And as we speak about every weekend, you're so welcome, Barbara. As we speak about every weekend, um, we came together through the campaign and we journeyed as we watched RFK Jr. fulfill and live into the vision, because the fine print of whenever anybody gets a vision, and I'm imagining some of you have received a vision, I would say, yes, something on your heart that initiated, ignited a fire. Yes, we still journey together. And so the fine print of receiving a vision is that it can shift and change, and it often does. So when we first began praying together through the campaign, I remember that the words that came through were absolutely holding that space for RFK Jr. to be in the White House for as president or something better. And the something better is him in position, even though there's an enormous amount of criticism and all the minutia, all that manner of stuff that goes on with politics. And I'm sure some of you may have seen those hearings, which I don't even understand why they're grilling him. But one thing that I can say is that he is unflappable and his mission is really clear and he doesn't waver. You know how our motto for our prayer circle, for those that haven't ever been with us before, our motto is we shall not be moved. And when I look at RFK, RFKJ, what I see is a man who is so committed to his vision. Now, sometimes people don't like that, as you know, you're seeing evidenced in the press, on social media. They make up stories, they pull things up from 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But this circle that we have created and that we energize each week has to do with going even beyond any kind of political system. Just like for me, and I've asked this of you all, anybody that's got a child over 20 or a grandchild. I was Maha before Maha was a thing. And Maha has been weaponized and politicized. And it's really a desire to have clean air, clean food, clean water, clean seeds, clean soil. That's really what it's about. And for those that live near DC, I encourage you to go to People versus Poison, the rally tomorrow. Please, if you can go and you can participate, support it in whatever way you can. I encourage you to do that. I was just at the autism health conference, and so it was just not feasible for me to go from there to DC, even though I would have loved to. I would have loved to have been there, and because there's a vote that's going to come before the Supreme Court that has to do with giving Bayer, um, allowing Bayer to not be held responsible for any damage that occurs from the poisons of glyphosate and paraquat and all the poisons that are sprayed onto our food. If you think about so many of the neuroemotional and the physical issues that people are having, it's such a crazy thing of environmental pesticides, vaccines, all these things that are just floating in the air. I have to say, being at this autism conference and listening to the experts, some people that, it's been through fire. They followed all the rules. They've took their kids. I used to jokingly say when I first got into the health freedom movement, the well baby visit is euphemistic. It's a euphemism for shots. So there were people that followed all the protocol, the medical protocol. They brought their kids in, and then within 24 to 48 hours, some of the kids, regressed to profound autism. And now in our incredibly I don't know, divisive society. Now we're splitting hairs, which I can understand. We've got profound autism, and then we've got autism, and it's like, okay, so the thing is, these kids, some kids and adults, what woke people up was COVID. So there were an enormous amount of us that were aware of the toxins and the dangers and the risks of the adjuvants in the shots. And then COVID rolled around, and people started to question. They really started to question, what is going on? Why am I losing my job if I don't want to do this? Why are my kids not being allowed to attend school or camps or sports camps, or why are my relatives not wanting to talk to me? There was just an awakening that happened even in people that might not have paid any attention. And by the grace of God, we have a healthy daughter. But I know right before I gave birth, I had a very dear friend of mine that told me to pay attention and to trust my mother's instinct. And gratefully, that's the shunning and shaming. Gratefully, my husband was on the same page as me, because I was very clear. I was so resolute in my decision making, and so I'm grateful for that. And I also have enormous empathy and compassion for the parents who followed everything, and then things happened. And then, who takes care of these kids when they age out? What's in place for them, and why? I got to hear, for those of you, I don't know if any of you, do you all know who, yes, do you know who Aaron Siri is? I see a couple heads shaking. Yeah. Yeah. So Aaron Siri is a lawyer, brilliant lawyer. I don't even think he's 35. He's maybe 35. And he did this wonderful presentation because he wrote, absolutely, he wrote this book called Vaccines, Amen, speaking to the fact that there doesn't seem to be able to have a conversation. Oh, Nina, yeah. There doesn't seem to be able to have a conscious conversation where people can respectfully disagree about this. For some reason, it seems like because it's such a religion, it's such a thing for people that it seems to be very difficult. We've tried, trust me, we have tried. We have tried to have public debates with doctors, get everybody together, the ones that are pro, the ones that are skeptical, the ones that are, not pro at all. And yes, and to have a conversation. There was an event that one of my colleagues attempted to put together in Atlanta, and initially the doctors said that they would be there, and then day of, like hours before, they all canceled. So it's kind of really nuts, but it's also provided an incredible opportunity for each and every one of us. I know that when we come together, we talk about being the lighthouse. We talk about carrying the message. We talk about, that's what the power of the circle is, because it's more than a person in office. It is a consciousness. Just like when you look at sacred text, you can look at sacred text and it's beautiful, but it's words. It's the power back of the word. It's the consciousness that is imbued in the speaker. The reason that Yeshua is so beloved 2,000 years after he just came to liberate people from their narratives, from being in a particular perspective. The reason that he's so popular, the reason that people are still quoting him, the reason that people return again and again to what sacred truth is, because it's sacred truth and it's consciousness, it's frequency, it's vibration. When you hear truth, it hits you right in your heart. And it might render you speechless for a moment because you're so moved by the power of the words. So when we come together, when we pray, and it's a necessity, it's not just crisis management. Prayer is a practice, it is a living biology. It is something that each and every person, we enter prayer through the portal of gratitude. We hang out in the vibration and we sit in the realization. The realization, praying, believing is prayers that stand in the realization, not begging, not beseeching, not hoping, not to some, guy with a beard in the sky, some Santa Claus who's checking off whether you've been naughty or nice, a genie in a bottle that maybe if you do the right things, like if you do all these things, then God will love you. God already loves you. That's not even a question. It's whether you will love you. It's whether you will stand rooted in knowing that you are divine emanation of the Most High Good, the Most High God, the Most High Love. Will you stand in that place? Will you stand rooted in knowing that you are love on legs? That the Ruha, the breath of God that was breathed into your being, was because there is no one like you in the world. You are a singular expression of this divine presence. Yes, there's billions, right? But each and every person is unique. That's why your thumbprint is unique. Yes, because we may be all one human race, but we each come in with a unique purpose written on our heart. And the invitation over and over and over again is to return to our hearts, return to real love, not love that looks good on a stage. We see lots of people, right? People that are standing on stages, have big platforms talking to you about oneness and love. And then you see them off stage and you're like, oh, what happened? Where'd that go? You see them somewhere and they're like not standing in that place of love. Love doesn't mean you have to wear all white and be a vegetarian and speak really softly and only talk like this. Love says, No, not on my watch. That's not going to happen. I'm going to Sacramento. I'm going to the Capitol. I'm going to DC. I'm meeting with my legislators, and I am going to bring them information to allow them to be inspired to make another choice. Love says, I'm leaving this community. I'm going over here. Love says, I'm not going to put my child in that kind of a position. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go over here. And love also says, I don't agree with you, but you're entitled to your opinion, but you're not the boss of my life. You're not the boss of my body. That's what love does. Yes, love is love in action. And let me tell you something. That is probably the most stringent exercise that you can do, because some people can be ugly. Some people can be adversarial. Some people relish being that, but not you, not now. We come together to remember who we are, to remember why we are, to remember whose we are. That's what the invitation is, week after week after week, to remember. Now, we may have come together because of RFK, who's continually standing. And, he has to do what he has to do because he's on a mission. Like last night we had, that event in DC at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And that was really scary. And that was very alarming and just indicates how some people are just so off that they would consider doing something like that. And Bobby, Bobby's like, I'm hungry, like he's good. He's anchored. He's anchored in God. He knows what he's here for. So we don't have to go, wow, oh, is he okay? He is okay. And we get to hold that for him. We don't want to stand in that place of fear. We want to stand in that place of knowing he's good. And so are we. We get to rise beyond circumstances, to see beyond appearances, to know that no matter who is in the White House, and yes, there can be people in the White House or people that might have been in the White House or people that may be in the White House that we don't really vibe with. We don't really agree with their choices. We're a little over here, a little over there, and that's okay, because God is more than that. God doesn't know from a political party. God just is all the time. So we have to, as humans, 100% human, 100% divine, we come back again and again to remind ourselves, to tap into, tune into, attune ourselves to the divinity within our being. So we can go forth in whatever way we are meant to go forth, in whatever communities we are meant to go and be in, and be that light, be that, right? When Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see, it was a call to action. It was a charge. It wasn't a marketing slogan. So we're invited rather strongly at this time in history to remember that. And when we forget, to lean into our sacred circle. I appreciate all of your emails. I appreciate the things that you request, the things that you share. I so appreciate your participation. I absolutely appreciate your donations, because this is not corporate sponsor. It's me. It's all me. So I really appreciate your love donations, because this is what makes it possible for us to be here. And it's consciousness, right? We are here because we caught a vision, just like RFK Jr. We caught a vision for a world of health and wellness. We're taking out the I in illness and we're putting in WE, from illness to wellness. This is the very activity of our lives, because what we have in our healthcare system is a sick care system, but we're not buying into that. That's not what we're investing in. We're investing in our own wellness to rise high and stay high. I think I've shared with you, may have shared with you, there's been a lot that that I've been doing recently, but I was doing some reading. And in this reading, thank you, what I learned is that Yeshua, because his native language was first Hebrew, because he was a rabbi. And so he spoke Hebrew. And then the language of that time was Aramaic, close to Hebrew, but it was Aramaic. It wasn't English. His last name was not Christ. The Christ is in an enlightened state. It's the highest state of being. So whatever your religion is, you can activate your Christ nature. So just saying, and Magdalene was the feminine embodiment of that Christ nature, that standing in that feminine knowing. She stood and was not moved. She was such a component, the apostle of the apostles. And in their conversation, he never used the word God. He used the word good. So we hear people say, in God we trust, but how about for the next week, till our next prayer circle, you say to yourself, in good I trust. Every time something crosses your awareness, every time you see a headline, every time you see something snarky, every time you're in a conversation with somebody that's, talking some shiitake, you just internally just look at them and say, in good, I trust. And you don't have to say anything else. You don't have to engage. You don't have to justify. You don't have to explain. You don't have to defend. You can just be like, in good, I trust. Sound good? Yes? Okay, I see some 2 thumbs up from Teresa and Glenn. I see John. Okay, Jay, right. Kathleen, who's laying on her couch. I see that Carl and his partner, beautiful Elaine. Thank you. Okay, Robin and Terry. Good. So we're going to be this is our next week, every day. I might send you an email a couple times. Just thank you, Barbara. I might send you an email. Just say, in good, that's it. In good, I trust. Because when you literally focus your attention on that, yes, we are, John. When you focus your attention on that, the universe, there's universal laws, right? It's not a religious doctrine. It's universal. It is immutable, unchangeable, universal law, universal principle. It's even beyond, yes, Carly, it does, but it's even beyond positive thought. It's law, like gravity, right? It's an energetic. It's called the law of equivalence, mental equivalence. When you stand rooted in good I trust and you keep turning away from that which wants to co-opt or hijack or whatever, and you just come back again and again and you say, in good I trust, in good I trust, the universe will respond by corresponding to that energetic frequency. It's not woo-woo. It's true. So this is the invitation. We stand rooted in good I trust. So I have a reading for you today, and I think you're going to love this one. All right. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sadness, joy. Where there is darkness, light. O divine Master, Grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, not so much to be understood as to understand, not so much to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying that we are born again to eternal life. So we'll move into prayer. If there's a quality, if there's a prayer that you would like to hold for yourself or have our circle hold for you, take a moment and you can put that in the chat. And I'm going to leave this information for anyone who feels called. But you can go ahead. I see love, beautiful, wonderful. Yes, perfect health and healing. Yep. Absolutely. Yes. Trust. That is a poem that is attributed to Saint Francis of Assisi. Peace on earth. Yeah. Every time I think of that, I think healthy sleep. Yes, I think about let there be peace and let it begin with me. You know, in the world of activism and political action, something that oftentimes people don't realize is, oh, yes, recovery, is that they have this phrase, start local, go global. So people often, it's part of human nature, yes, Elizabeth, that we often go to the biggest, the most global. But we forget that we have legislators in our town. So if there's something that is on your heart, go to your representatives, visit their office, bring them flowers, bring them donuts, go in there, find out what they're doing. Go, okay, all right, got you, Kim and Glenn. So that's how you do it. Yes, you do the like from, the people versus poison. Absolutely. Okay, Joanne, absolutely. Right? We do that. But remember, you start, let there be peace and let it begin with me. The people, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. You are the people. We are their people. We are the ones, they may have forgotten that, but we are the ones. So all of it to say, you do all that you can, right? There's a phrase, you take the action, let go of the result, but you don't ever let go of the consciousness, right? In good I trust, in good I trust, in good I live. You just keep returning back. Okay. All right, my friends, we're going to move into prayer. Yes, absolutely. That is very true. All right. So, yes. Oh, it's so good to be with you all. Always such a gift. Beautiful, Tommy. Yay. All right. So we just take a breath together and just a slow exhale, like you're just releasing everything that has come before this present moment, just letting it all go. And breathing in and breathing out. And just being aware of any sensations in your body, being aware of your breath rising and falling, letting your shoulders relax with every exhalation. You don't have to brace yourself for anything in this moment. You're here, right now in the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And just taking a few moments in the stillness to give thanks for the blessings in your life. Even if life may feel hard, even if you're going through something and you might feel like you're in a hard season or not, to give thanks that we can come together and we can pray out loud. We can have a conversation about what we like and we don't like, and we're safe. We can go to the store and buy whatever we would like, and there's no person telling us that there's a quota and we've exceeded it. We can breathe anytime we want. We can smile anytime we want. We can laugh and dance and sing and stomp our feet, and no one is telling us we can't. So we breathe, we just enter into this prayer in a field of gratitude. We embrace all of the people that were at the White House Correspondents' Dinner that are safe, blessing the security, blessing this shooter who was so detached from the love or any love in his heart that he would think of doing this, attempting to do what he was attempting to do. Giving thanks for this technology that allows each and all of us to connect from all around the world in this global heart of prayer. Grateful for this beautiful practice called prayer, this divine healing modality that literally shifts molecules. Grateful in this moment for the breath in my lungs, for my heartbeat. Grateful for each and every person in this sacred circle, this virtual sacred circle. Grateful for my family and friends. Grateful to have attended this conference. Grateful that people are gathering in DC. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Just filled to overflowing with gratitude for this moment. Recognizing in this moment this divine presence that is called by so many names in so many different languages, even by those who cannot speak, even by those who cannot hear. And God, good, answers. So I recognize that this divine presence is everywhere in its fullness simultaneously, that there is no place, no space, no spot where this divine presence is not, even in the places where it seems like the darkest, where there is no light whatsoever. I know that this divine presence, God, good, life, love, almighty, is. The minute that whatever is blocking it is raised, that light rushes in. And so I know that this presence is never an absence, and that I am one with this presence. It is my source. It is where I live, move, and have my beingness. I am one with the one. I know that this presence is in every tissue, in every cell, in every sinew, in every ligament, in every joint, every bone, every organ, every action, every function of my heart, mind, body, and spirit, one with the one. And knowing that there is no separation between the Creator and its creations, I know that this too is true for each and every person within earshot of this prayer, where they are God, good, love is. And in this unified field of oneness, not sameness, oneness, it is my joy and honor to speak this word, blessing each and every person who has uttered a prayer request, who has put their prayer request in the comments, who is walking with something on their heart, something they may have written, something they may have said to somebody, a wish, a desire, a hope for themselves or someone that they're holding in prayer, a child, a loved one, a neighbor, a partner, themselves, knowing that prayer is answered, calling forth healing, the revelation of wholeness, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, religiously, politically, financially, calling forth joy and more joy, just like a fountain, just absolutely continually in this law of circulation. I'm calling forth abundance, abundance of good, abundance of God, abundance of love, abundance of opportunities. I'm calling forth prosperity, not only financial, but emotional, mental, spiritual, religious. Prospering relationships, mutually respectful relationships, sound mind, sound thinking, sound seeing, hearing, knowing, clear thinking. I'm calling forth decisiveness for anyone who is needing to make a decision. I'm calling forth clarity in that decision. I'm calling forth love, love of oneself, receiving love, giving love. I'm calling forth harmony in all of their relations. I'm calling forth the healing of any discord or anger within themselves or in any kind of relationship. I'm calling forth right employment, the opportunity for each and every person to express the gifts, the skills, and the talents that were implanted within them at the time of their creation. I'm calling forth clarity for knowing what is theirs to do, where to go, when to be silent, when to speak. I'm just calling forth the omnipotence of this divine presence revealing itself through each and every fiber of their being, calling forth joy and harmony, and widening this prayer field. We include RFK Jr., we include Cheryl, the family, we include mental, emotional, physical sobriety, health, vitality, vibrancy, just blessing them, blessing RFK Jr. as he goes forward, seemingly against all odds, but knowing that anything that hinders, obstructs the fulfillment of the mission to restore health and vitality for citizens in America and beyond is what unfolds, calling forth the funding for all of the programs that support the citizens of the world, calling forth equality and equity, calling forth choice, health sovereignty, and speaking the word for this vote in the Supreme Court that would remove liability for the pesticide giants. I'm calling forth the dissolution of that shield. And I'm calling forth responsibility, full responsibility, calling forth that just gaping. And I'm calling forth safety surrounding each and every person that is at this rally tomorrow, blessing each and every person's travels, their stays, their going to this, their speaking, blessing all that are stepping out and speaking up on the stage and all that have gathered there. Just calling forth cooperative, harmonious components. Calling forth the cessation of any and all violence in any hot spot in the world, local, global. Calling forth the end of any kind of superiority, moral, religious, emotional, financial, from any direction, from any corner of the world, calling forth freedom for women and children and citizens of the world, calling forth the highest of integrity from all of the leaders and the cessation, the literal falling away of the perception that violence is the precursor for peace, calling forth those hardened hearts to soften, blessing all of those souls who have moved off the earthly path, the ones coming in, the cries from beyond the horizon, just blessing all those who are here, those who have left, those that are coming in, blessing all, calling forth a world that truly, genuinely works for the highest and the greatest good, calling forth the end of pesticides and chemicals and toxins to enter people's bodies, hearts, minds, and spirits and poison them, calling forth health, robust health, vitality. If anyone is going through any kind of physical challenge, I'm calling forth solution, whether it's dental, ophthalmological, heart, organ, whatever it is. I'm just calling forth resolution in the most beautiful way. And if there is anyone that you are holding in your heart or on your heart, bring them into this sacred circle right now. Speak their name out loud, including yourself. Hold them in the highest. And send that same love to all of your brothers and sisters in this circle and beyond. And so it is with an open and grateful heart for this and so much more than words can say or eyes can see, that I simply allow this word to be, knowing it is done, knowing it goes forth and it must be made manifest, for that is the law. And just with deep thankfulness, I allow that to be. And if you are in vibrational harmony with this word spoken, in whatever way you close your prayer, in the name of all that is holy, in the name of God, in the name of good, in the name of love, however you close your prayer, speak that word now. And knowing that that is so, I say, Amen, Ashe, Aho, Shalom, Salam, it is done, hallelujah. And so it is. And so we let it be. And if you would like to, you can come off, you can unmute yourself and join us.
Thank you, Reverend Wendy.
Thank you. You are so welcome.
Thank you, Reverend Wendy. So grateful.
My joy. My
Thank
joy.
you all for coming to make this group.
Wonderful to be with you.
Such a blessing. All right, beautiful soul.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.
As always,
Thank
Reverend
you,
Wendy.
everyone.
Okay. And what's our mantra for this week?
I shall, we
Good,
shall.
I trust.
Good.
Right.
Good,
Yes. And you can also say the other one too. So you can say both. Yeah. Mwah. All right.
Blessings, everyone.
Bye for now. I'll see you soon.
Ciao for now.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
Oh.
Bye-bye.